Good morning, everybody. It's July the 28th. Can you believe we're in the last week? Summer will be 2/3 over here at the end of the week. Time flies. Time flies. Einstein was right. Time is relative. It speeds up as you get older. Hope you all had a great evening. Hotter than hell. Still here at Wichita. One more day of 100-degree temps, and then we're supposed to be back to the high 80s, low 90s, which would be seasonal for us. Still have several, probably more 100-degree days before the summer's over. It is that part of the world. Okay, I think the biggest thing that happened last night was, it's rumored, Bank of Japan, People's Bank of China, European Central Bank, and the Fed all intervened in China's market. China's market opened down -5%, hit -7%. The plunge protection team moved. I think every central bank in the world is on the same page. They're one bright spot with contracting, shrinking economies. Lots of recession warnings, flags being flashed everywhere. The only bright spot they have is the stock market. And China's crash with the way money is borrowed, shadow banking and the rest of it, could have led to a people's revolt. That's how tight, how big a mess they're in. So again, when the plunge protection moves, China's bank opened down 5%, hit -7 in that first wave of selling. The market makers absorbed the first 5%, opened it down. They're willing to get long. Market sells 7, then they intervene, and that's the pattern I've seen since 1987. Is that if things look like they're about to get out of hand, the bottom's going to fall out of the market, the Fed will let that first wave of selling hit the market. All the initial selling's done. There's no more sell orders in the book. Then they come in and they rally the market back. So the pattern to me is holding true. So around the globe, Asia ends up down 1.16. Hong Kong was up. Japan and China were down. Europe is up 3.58%, and our market was up 12.5 points when I first started out. So the pattern continues: selling in the U.S., selling in Asia. If it's going to turn, it'll turn in Europe. So we have two markets down, one market up, two markets up, one market down. So the pattern is held. We do have some news today. Case-Shiller +0.3, year on year +5.6%. Usually in America, the biggest source of net worth for anybody is their home. PMI services will get some play, but it's not a market mover. +54.8. If this number comes in lower than forecast, it will say the United States is moving closer to a recession. The biggest number today, consumer confidence, 99.6. Richmond Fed, +7.5. And Richmond's Fed should turn in the best numbers of any of the Fed districts because of its proximity to DC than the 2-year auction. So at some point today, the 2-year auction is going to kick in, and I like the buy side best. So we've got our buy at 21.25, a little bit lower, honoring these two Bs. Obviously, we have to get there. The market has to take out the overnight session low to get there. Buy 1. 13 to 17, buy 2. We have had one 2-year and one 3-year auction where the market actually did trade down into the auction and after the auction. First sells 31 to 03. I see resistance at the buck to 04 and then 7 to 11. May have to pay 29s to get, just don't know. We'll just see how that first rotate holds up. Right now we're going to play to buy it on the cheap. You know, we're actually having a pretty good summer trading. I know the markets get quiet and the moves over, usually pretty well over on that first move, but we're doing pretty damn good this summer. We're not just left high and dry or standing on the sidelines, which is pretty cool. 27 to 31, sell one. It is aggressive. Obviously, if you'd like to get it done at the 31 level rather than 27, but it'll take a setup. And then 7 to 11, sell 2. Now, some of you all said, how do you split it? How do you split it? Go to the longest line of letters right here. Left click on B. And that gives us definitely a pretty big B down here. The overnight session low is 12. I'm going to make 17 to 13 buy 1. That's very, very aggressive. Then we'll make 01s to 29s buy 2, and we'll probably adjust this. So we're aggressive on the buy side. We're inside. Maybe a 9 to 13 is the correct number. The sell's pretty aggressive. 31 looks doable. Okay, gold. Again, we're not seeing a lot of action in gold. Some days we get some reasonable trading range. Most of the days we don't. The big explosive day was short covering. It was a rally to the upside. So we still have this seller at the buck right now. The seller is at 96.98. That's sell 1, and we'll make it 3 to 5 for sell 2. On the buy side, at 91 to 89 buy 1. That's where we were last night. Then 84, 86 buy 2. Don't see a lot of action in gold today. Pretty quiet. Okay, currencies. One day the dollar's up, next day it's down. And that's pretty much the pattern that's holding. No rhyme or reason. It's just the markets are in a trading range, and they'll rally today, they'll sell today. They'll rally today, they'll sell today, and that's where we are. So we talked about that yesterday morning. We'll probably talk about it again tomorrow morning. Okay, the spills from 60. We're at 40. So we got sellers in the 75 area. So 60 to 75, sell 1 band. Then the buck to 10, sell 2. The buy side, we had the breakout from 27. So we are pointed and headed lower. We'll make 25, 15 buy 1. Then 110 even buy 2. And tomorrow's FOMC meeting tends to freeze the euro too. When the ECB, the Bank of China, or the Fed speak, it can have big ramifications, and most of the major players will be sidelined. Okay, crude was very quiet overnight. Didn't do much. Our first buy yesterday was 46.75, 47. Wow, do we look smart after making that call? So we got a buyer at 47, so we'll just leave it the same. And then 46.25 to 46 even. On the sell side, looks like we're going to trade higher, so 47.50, 75, sell 1. 48, 48 and a quarter, sell 2. And everybody's favorite market, the E-mini. I think the focus today will probably be the E-mini. The direction of the E-mini, given this morning's news, and whether it can break out of that. You know, we have resistance starting at 80 all the way up to 90. So, pretty wide band right there. The spill was actually from 90 from the other day. You can see that right up here. Got a high at 88, have a high at 86, have the break in the G period at 83. I periods rotate stopped up at 81. So I think we can get stops above the overnight session high. I think we can get stops above yesterday's high. So we're going to make 79, 81, sell 1, 84, 86, sell 2. The FOMC meeting tends to rally equities. 71, 69, buy 1, and then 64, 66, buy 2. Today's news, Case-Shiller plus 0.3. That number could come in higher than forecast. Year on year 5.6. That number too could come in higher than forecast. PMI services could get a little play. I know I'm being redundant, but want to make sure you all have these numbers right at the tip of your tongue. Big number today, consumer confidence. I have seen it as high as 100.1, but the counter day was 99.6. Richmond Fed 7.5. I've seen it as low as 6. And the FOMC tomorrow. So we'll play for a trading range today with a seller 80 to 85 and a buyer 65 to 70. Good morning, Wayne, Jacob, Nancy, everybody else. We're going to get after it here in a few minutes. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.